Have you ever stood in the grocery aisle staring at a colorful package labeled low fat or all natural and felt a quiet confidence that you're making a healthy choice? What if I told you some of these so-called health foods might be doing more harm than good, especially after 60? Let's face it, we've all been there. You're trying to eat right, stay active, and give your body the fuel it needs as you age. But here's the problem. The food industry isn't always on your side. Bright labels and clever marketing can turn everyday items into ticking time bombs for your blood sugar, joints, and even your heart. And the worst part? These foods hide in plain sight, masquerading as wholesome choices while quietly chipping away at your health. Take my friend, Margaret, for example. At 68, she prided herself on her disciplined breakfast routine, a cup of flavored yogurt topped with granola. It felt virtuous, a healthy choice she'd seen recommended everywhere. But over time, she noticed her energy crashing by mid-morning, and her annual blood work revealed a startling spike in her blood sugar. Her doctor asked one simple question: "Do you know how much sugar is in that yogurt?" Margaret didn't. When she checked the label, she was shocked. That tiny cup contained more sugar than a candy bar. Here's the truth. Flavored yogurts are often sugar bombs disguised as health food. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing excess sugar, which can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and inflammation, all accelerators of aging. But there's an easy fix. Swap that sugary cup for plain Greek yogurt. It's rich in protein, probiotics, and bone-strengthening calcium. Too tart? Stir in a handful of fresh berries or a drizzle of local honey. Margaret made this switch and saw her energy stabilize within days. And her next blood test? Her doctor called it a turnaround for the textbooks. Now, let's talk about a drink many of us sip with good intentions: store-bought smoothies. Picture this. Robert, a lively 72-year-old retired teacher, started his mornings with a bottled green smoothie from his local cafe. It felt like a win, a quick way to get his greens. But when unexplained fatigue and joint stiffness crept in, his nutritionist pointed to the culprit. That healthy drink? It packed 50 grams of sugar, the equivalent of gulping down 5 glazed donuts. The issue isn't the vegetables or fruits themselves, it's what happens when they're stripped. A fiber, blended into liquid sugar, and portioned into giant servings. Without fiber to slow absorption, these smoothies send blood sugar soaring, then crashing. A roller coaster that strains your pancreas and fuels inflammation. But you don't have to give up convenience. Make your own smoothie at home. Blend spinach, frozen blueberries, a scoop of protein powder, and unsweetened almond milk. Add a tablespoon of chia seeds for fiber and omega-3s. Robert did this and regained his energy within weeks. Plus, he loved controlling the ingredients. These stories aren't about fear, they're about empowerment. Small tweaks to every day. Choices can protect your health without sacrificing flavor or convenience. But here's what's critical. The risks aren't always obvious. Some foods marketed as heart-healthy or natural might be quietly working against you, especially as your metabolism and digestion shift with age. Which brings us to a question worth asking. What other innocent foods might be lurking in your pantry or fridge right now? Think about that pre-packaged soup you keep for quick lunches, or the whole grain crackers you nibble with cheese. Could they be hiding sodium levels that strain your kidneys or refined carbs that destabilize your blood sugar? The answer isn't to panic. It's to pause, read labels, and rethink habits. Because here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, you hold the power to choose better. And sometimes, better is simpler and tastier than you'd think. So let's keep going. Because up next, we're diving into 2 more everyday foods that might surprise you. Ones you've likely eaten this week without a second thought. But with a few smart swaps, you'll not only avoid their hidden risks, you'll unlock more energy, better digestion, and a sharper mind. Let's get into it. Let's talk about that pre-packaged soup sitting in your pantry. The one you reach for when you want something warm and wholesome without the fuss. It's easy, it's comforting, and the label might even say low-calorie or heart-healthy. But here's what the bold print doesn't tell you. Many of these soups are loaded with enough sodium to send your blood pressure into overdrive. Consider Harold, a 70-year-old retired mechanic who loved his daily ritual of tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich. It felt like a light, sensible lunch, until his annual checkup revealed his blood pressure had skyrocketed. "You're eating too much salt," his doctor warned. Harold was baffled. He rarely touched the salt shaker. Then they reviewed his diet. That healthy canned soup? A single serving contained 1,200 milligrams of sodium, half the daily limit for most seniors. And Harold often ate the whole can, doubling that number without realizing it. Excess sodium is especially risky after 60. As kidney function naturally declines with age, your body struggles to flush out surplus salt. Over time, this strains blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and increases the risk of stroke or heart attack. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up soup. Make a big batch of homemade vegetable soup on Sundays. Use low sodium broth. Toss in lentils for protein and load up on carrots, celery, and kale. Freeze individual portions for quick meals. Harold started doing this and noticed his energy improved, and within 3 months his blood pressure dropped to healthier levels. Now let's open your snack cabinet. Those whole grain crackers you nibble with cheese or hummus, they might not be as virtuous as they seem. Take Evelyn, a 67-year-old grandmother who prided herself on choosing multi-grain crackers. She'd pair them with almond butter for what she thought was a smart snack. But when her blood sugar started creeping up, her dietitian pointed to the culprit. The cracker's first ingredient wasn't whole grain, it was refined wheat flour, spiked with sugar to enhance flavor. Here's the catch. Terms like multigrain or made with whole grains are marketing sleight of hand. Unless the first ingredient is 100% whole grain, you're likely eating a processed product that digests like white bread, spiking blood sugar, and leaving you hungry again soon after. The fix? Look for crackers with whole grains, like oats, quinoa, or brown rice, as the first ingredient, and fewer than 3 grams of added sugar per serving. Better yet, swap them all together for crunchy cucumber slices or bell pepper strips dipped in hummus. Evelyn made this switch and felt fuller longer, with no more mid-afternoon energy crashes. If you're still watching and finding these insights useful, drop a number 7 in the comments to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us keep bringing you valuable content to inform and inspire. Now let's pause for a moment. Think about your own kitchen. How many of these foods have slipped into your routine, disguised as allies? The truth is, aging reshapes what our bodies need and what they can tolerate. Foods that once seemed harmless might now work against you. But awareness is power. With every label you read and every ingredient swap you make, you're not just avoiding pitfalls, you're actively investing in more vibrant years ahead. Take Joan, a 73-year-old avid gardener who loved her sugar-free energy bars. They tasted sweet without guilt, or so she thought. When chronic bloating and joint pain began sidelining her from her beloved rose bushes, her nutritionist asked her to check the bar's ingredients. The third item? Sugar alcohols, like xylitol and sorbitol, which can cause digestive havoc. In older adults, Joan switched to homemade trail mix, almonds, pumpkin seeds, and unsweetened coconut flakes. And within weeks, her stomach settled and her mobility improved. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Small, sustainable changes compound over time. But there's one more food category we need to discuss. One that's trickier to spot because it's often praised as a guilt-free alternative. It's hiding in gluten-free snacks, vegan desserts, and even some protein bars. And if you're not careful, it could quietly undermine your health in ways you'd never expect. Let's talk about that guilt-free snack aisle, the one filled with gluten-free cookies, vegan protein bars, and sugar-free treats. These products shout promises of health and virtue. But here's the unsettling truth. Many are landmines of artificial additives and processed fillers that can wreak havoc on your body after 60. Meet Arthur, a 69-year-old retired librarian who switched to gluten-free pretzels after reading they were easier on digestion. At first, he felt proud of his choice, until he noticed his joints aching and his skin breaking out in rashes. His doctor ran tests and pinpointed the issue. The pretzels were loaded with tapioca starch and vegetable oils, ingredients that spike inflammation in older adults. Gluten-free doesn't mean healthy, his doctor explained. It just means no wheat, but what's added can be worse. This is the trap of processed health snacks. To mimic the texture and taste of traditional treats, companies often add inflammatory oils, excessive salt, or synthetic sweeteners. Over time, these additives can irritate your gut, stiffen your joints, and even fog your thinking. But here's the empowering fix. Focus on whole food swaps. Crave something crunchy? Try air-popped popcorn tossed with olive oil and rosemary. Need a sweet treat? Dip a medjool date in dark chocolate. It's rich in fiber and antioxidants. Arthur ditched the gluten-free aisle and started snacking on roasted chickpeas spiced with turmeric. Within a month, his joint pain faded, and his mind felt sharper than ever. Now let's step back and connect the dots. Margaret's yogurt, Robert's smoothie, Harold's soup, Evelyn's crackers, Joan's energy bars, and Arthur's pretzels. All these foods seemed harmless, even healthy on the surface. But beneath the marketing, they shared a common thread. They prioritized convenience over nourishment, leaving their bodies starved of real nutrition. Here's the good news aging brings: wisdom. You've learned life's too short for bland meals or rigid rules. Eating well after 60 isn't about deprivation. It's about reclaiming joy in your food while protecting your health. Imagine waking up 6 months from now with steady energy, a calm stomach, and the vitality to garden, travel, or play with grandkids. That future starts with choices you make today. But let's get practical. How do you spot these stealthy saboteurs? Become a label detective. Flip the package and read the ingredients. If you see words you can't pronounce, sugars hiding under aliases like evaporated cane juice, or sodium levels over 20% of your daily value, pause. Ask yourself, could I make this simpler? Often the answer is yes. Take inspiration from Linda, a 75-year-old who transformed her diet and her life after a diabetes scare. She swapped store-bought granola for homemade oats with nuts and cinnamon, traded sugary sauces for fresh herbs, and chose frozen veggies over sodium-laden canned ones. I don't miss the old stuff, she says. I feel the difference. It's like I turned back the clock. This isn't about overhauling your diet overnight. It's about progress, not perfection. Start with one change this week. Maybe swap that flavored yogurt for plain Greek, or try a homemade soup. Each small win builds momentum. Drop a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't hold back. Your input means a lot to us. Reading your comments keeps us motivated and inspired. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep bringing you valuable content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Remember, aging isn't a decline. It's a new chapter. And with the right choices, it can be your most vibrant one yet. Here's to savoring every bite, every moment, and every year ahead. Cheers to your health.